Hi dear parents, welcome back to another math hour. Today I'm going to show you how to simplify a radical, a square root. Believe it or not, big square roots can be broken down into small parts. You just need to know a little bit of math, a little bit about factors, and also you need to be very good with multiplying radicals. Let me start by showing you a simple example right here, okay? Let's start with how about square root of 27. Now, in the past, I've told the students that there is no way we could solve this because the square root of 27 is not a perfect square root. So normally we just leave it alone, but not anymore. Now, I'm going to teach you how to simplify this radical and make it smaller, break it down into small component pieces and parts. How do we do this? Well, this is what I need. This is what kids shouldn't understand. They have to take a look at the number 27, okay? And they gotta ask themselves this question: is this an even number or is this an odd number? Odd or even? Very, very important. Okay, and now of course, as you guys know, the even number means 2, 4, 6, 8. And odd means, of course, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Okay? Now in this case, we don't need 1. The 1 is not that important. The other numbers are in the odd numbers. Now, 27. 27 is an odd number, and I know that because 7, the digit 7 is in the last place, which is an odd number. That means 27 can be divided by either 3, 5, 7, or 9. One of these numbers has got to work 27. So let me break this down into two factors. I know that the square 9 multiplied by 3 will give me 27. You see that? These are called factors. 9 times 3 gives me 27. Even if it's a square root of 9, multiplied by square root of 3 will give me square root of 27. And hey, I know what the square root of 9 is. The square root of 9 is 3. Multiplied by square root of 3, which does not change. That means my final answer, the square root of 27 is equal to 3 radical 3. You see that? We have simplified a radical. Let me show you another example. Take this all out, delete it. Let's try another example. Let's try a bigger number. Let's try, how about the square root of 175? Again, first thing kids should do, take a look at the number 175 and ask, is this an odd number or is it an even number? Well, just take a look at the number at the back, 5. 5 is definitely an odd number, which means one of these numbers, 3, 5, 7, or 9, I should be able to divide 175 by one of these numbers here. Let me try 5. So I'm going to break down this square root into two square roots. 175 divided by 5 is 35. And of course, this is 5 as well. Because 35 multiplied by 5 is equal to 175. Okay, good. How about square root of 35? Can I break this down? It's an odd number. Well, I guess I could. I mean, I know that 7 multiplied by 5 is equal to 35. And of course, don't forget to bring this guy down. Aha! Now I got these three factors, 3 parts over here. Let us see if we can multiply something. The square root of 5 multiplied by square root of 5, if you remember your multiplication formula, is just 5. You see that? And of course, square root of 7 is there. Multiply it, bring it together with this, and the final answer, 5 square root of 7. So the square root of 175, when you break it down to component parts, is 5 radical 7. You see that? That's how you do a technique. Let me show you more examples here. Now let me show you an example with a coefficient, okay? How about something like this? 4 radical 48. I want to break this down into its smallest component parts. I want to simplify this radical. How do I do it? Again, take a look at the number inside of the square root, the 48. Ask yourself this question: Is it an even number or is it an odd number? It's definitely even, isn't it? So that means 48, I can divide 48 by either 2 or 4 or 6 or 8. One of these numbers should work. Well, let's break it down to two little parts. I do know that 8 multiplied by 6 is 48. 8 times 6 is 48, right? And of course, let's not forget the 4, bring that down too. Well, let's see now. Can I break down any of these radicals into smaller parts? I sure can. 8 is an even number, and I do know that 4 multiplied by 2 will give me 8. And here, 6. Well, I know that 3 multiplied by 2 will give me 6. And of course, don't forget the 4. Bring that down too. Alright, I think I can finally solve a radical over here. I know that the square root of 4 is 2. I know that the square root of 2 multiplied by square root of 2 is also 2. And I know that the square root of 3 stays the same. And of course, drag the 4 down. And there we go, kids. Now we can multiply these numbers out. 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 times 2 is 16. And attach it to the radical 3. And there we go. The final answer. 4 multiplied by square root of 48, when you break it down, simplify the radical, becomes 16 square root of 3. You see? That's how you do it. Break it down to parts, small parts at a time. Let me do one more, with this time a negative coefficient. It's the same technique. It'll be the same exact skill. Okay, let's try this one. How about minus 2 multiplied by square root of 150. I want to simplify this radical. So again, start with the number inside of the square root. Is it odd or is it even? It's definitely even, isn't it? So I should be able to multiply by 2, 4, 6, or 8. Well, let me see if I can multiply it by, how about 2? I know that 75 multiplied by 2 will give me 150. And of course, don't forget the minus 2, drag it down. Right? Let's continue on. 75. Let's see, 75 is an odd number. I can definitely divide that by 5. So I know that, let's see, 5 times 1 is 5. 15 multiplied by 5 will give me 75. And of course, square root of 2 stays the same. Nothing happens to that. And of course, the minus 2 also gets dragged down. Nothing happens to that. Okay? Let's see. Can I do something to the square root of 15? Can I break this down? I sure can. I know that square root of 5 multiplied by square root of 3 will give me square root of 15. Nothing happens to square root of 5. It stays the same. Nothing happens to square root of 2. That stays the same. And of course, drag the minus 2 down below. Aha! Take a look, kids. What we can do over here. I know that square root of 5 multiplied by square root of 5 is just 5. So minus 2 multiplied by 5. This is taken care of. This is taken care of. Multiplied by square root of 3 multiplied by square root of 2. You see that, kids? And now we know that minus 2 multiplied by 5 is minus 10. And I know that I can multiply my square roots. So radical 3 multiplied by radical 2 is just radical 3 times 2. And the final answer, when you simplify minus 2 square root of 50, you are going to get the answer minus 10 square root of 3 times 2, 6. And there we go, kids. This is how you simplify a radical. Thank you.